What up? This is Robert Ory.
Or three-pointer. Buries it!
You might know me as Big Shot Bob.
To Ory for three. Oh, unbelievable. This guy is off the charts.
What's going on, Big Shot Bob?
Robert Ory from downtown.
What is going on, Big Shot Bob?
Loving life.
Living life. Living life, loving life. It is the Big Shot Bob podcast. It's our shoot around. Our little Friday bonus show in case you missed anything this week and you ever have a question for us. Send it our way, man. We got a couple more questions for Rob this week and a few other topics we didn't get to. I had a lot of people ask me why we didn't talk about Reggie Miller when we were talking about the Knicks-Pacers thing on this day. Look, God bless Reggie. Rob, do you know Reggie at all? Like, have you ever had...
No, I never, think about it. He's an LA guy. I'm in LA. We've never ran across each other. We've been on the plane once with each other, and that was about it. So,
did you ever played against them?
Yeah, we beat them in the finals.
That's right. What am I talking about? You did beat them. That's
Shaq's first championship.
That's right.
Them.
That's right, against the Pacers. He's kind of obviously, for very obvious reasons, become a little bit of a lightning rod with this Knicks-Pacers series. Because everybody looked back to what happened 30 years ago and, all the choking and all that crap. But like Reggie, Reggie's not shy in saying stuff like this, which I think is great.
I know people are like, aren't you worried about going back to New York City and calling a game? No. I've owned this city. I've owned this building. So why would I be worried about walking on out there?
So, obviously, Reggie's kind of been a bit of a lightning rod. Now, the other night during, I think this was during Game 4, he had this to say, and I want to know who you think he was talking about when he brought this up, because I think I know. I think most people think they know, but I want to get your take.
We've got certain guys, veteran status in our game, that are on a lot of people's Mount Rushmore that like to deflect and point fingers at others. Here's a 22-year-old saying, this is on me. It's my fault.
So he was talking about Anthony Edwards, saying that he'll step up and take the blame when the team loses. And he's like, you got veteran guys, Mount Rushmore guys, that will point fingers at other people and say it's them, not me. Who do you think he's...
damn league.
Yeah, I mean, but he said Mount Rushmore guys. So you're talking 4 best ever, right? Because that's the idea of what the Mount Rushmore is, one of the best players to ever do it.
Yeah, but that's still a few.
So for me, it feels like it's a shot at LeBron James.
I think it's just a shot at, I'm just going to run off. It's a shot at Giannis. It's a shot at Joker.
Okay.
AD, LeBron. I think it's a shot at every top-tier guy out there. Because every top-tier guy, I at one point in time probably said, well, I did my job. Hell, when I was a top-tier guy in college, I've said that. I've done my job. It's up to these other motherfuckers to step up. You get those moments where guys are going to say this. And I think for the most part, and you do get moments where every guy, goes out and say, it's my fault. So I don't think it's just, one guy that on a consistent basis say, it's like that commercial. Ain't no I in team. Ain't no we either. I did my job. You put the other motherfuckers to do their job.
Okay. All right. Yeah, a lot of people are speculating it was him taking a shot at LeBron James.
I don't think he would take a shot. I don't think Reggie's the type of shot taker like that, Oh,
I don't know. He's taken plenty of shots. The best was Josh Hart when he came up to him during the broadcast. And people in New York are raining down booze on Reggie. And this is on the air. And Josh Hart comes over and starts talking to Reggie. Reggie pulls his headset off to hear him. And Josh goes, I don't know if you could hear it, but I think they're saying, fuck you.
Yeah. Yeah.
And the whole thing, all the audio got picked up on mic. It was really funny. TNT's like, we apologize for the language.
It's like Reggie. If you own New York, who won that series?
Oh. Mm-hmm.
Who won that series?
New York did.
Well,
didn't they?
The Knicks won that series. Yeah,
Knicks won that.
So you don't own New York. They won that series. You own that moment.
Here's my gripe. Here's my gripe with this. That was 1994, right?
Yeah.
It was 30 years ago. Right. Well, yeah, you guys. But it was 30 years ago. Like, if you're a Knicks fan and you're still pissed at Reggie Miller for some shit that happened 30 years ago, you gotta let that go.
They still pissed at Trae Young. He didn't even make the playoffs.
Yeah, but that's at least more recent. That was the last couple of years. This was 30 years ago.
Yeah, but Knicks fans
and that's coming up on what, 25 years ago?
Yeah,
that's old as hell. I mean, we got kids that aren't old enough to know that.
Knicks fans, Knicks fans are unbearable. They are very because it only takes for them to get the bare minimum to think that they're the greatest.
And they ain't won shit in forever.
Right, and that's just the New York arrogance, though. Mm-hmm. It's the New York arrogance. Oh, we won a playoff series. We're moving on to that. You would have thought that they brought.
Can I tell you whose fault that is? The New York Yankees. The New York Yankees have won so much that they've made every New York fan completely delusional to the fact
they ain't won
that their
since
teams
09.
are the best teams in the fucking world.
They ain't won.
They haven't won in a minute.
And Alex Rodriguez was still playing for them when they won the last championship.
Yeah.
The cooler.
Yep. But that's the Yankees' fault. That's Yankees' pride in fading everybody. I have a question from Stevie for Rob. Rob, what has happened to Jrue Holiday? I think the most he's scored in a postseason game has been 14 points so far. Most of his games he scored under 10. Did the Celtics not need him in their scheme, or has he just left out? It seems like he's not a good fit in Boston. Shame.
I know. I think every series is different, and I don't think they need him right now in the last couple of series. And we talked about this. His shot looks different. I don't know. He probably his legs are too heavy for all that big ass contract he just got. He's been weighed down. I don't know, but I think we always look at the offensive end. I still look at the defensive end and what he's doing in the sense of that, and and the voice that he brings and to stabilize that team. It ain't always about scoring, because think about it. The next round when they play a tougher opponent, then I'll make my judgment. But I think Jrue is doing what he normally does. It's just we look at him doing it on a bigger stage because of what he did in Milwaukee, where he was the third option. Here, he's like the fourth or fifth option.
Yeah. And like you said, them bringing him here, they just didn't bring him here for scoring. Like, he's there to play defense as well. And I think people look at it from the standpoint of, hey, if he's not scoring the ball or he's not getting this many shots up, then what is he worth? I'm like, well, when you got Tatum, you got Brown, you got Derek White, even when you had Porzingis there, how many shots is he really going to get? You know what I'm saying? Because most of them guys taking all the shots.
And when Harford comes in the game, that motherfucker putting him up. Dude. I'm like, damn, Harford, pass the ball.
You know what I'm saying?
So he ain't got, it's not many opportunities for him.
Something about Harper's. This episode of the Big Shot Bob podcast is brought to you by our friends at BetterHelp.
If you're a regular listener to this show, you know I am big on staying healthy.
I know you're always in my rear end about it. Go to the doctor, talk to somebody, get some help.
Yes, you need to stay healthy, and that's more than just physical. It's important to be healthy mentally as well. When we keep stuff bottled up, it always pops up at the wrong time, and it's just bad for you. It's why I love our friends at BetterHelp. It's a safe space to talk, just you and a licensed therapist. Get it out.
Yeah, no, it's healthy to get it out. And I think we've talked about it on this podcast. Staying mentally healthy is huge. And I think a lot of times, especially in sports, we are guys that bottle up our emotions and we don't talk about nothing. It's like, get through it. So, you need somebody to talk to. Don't be afraid of therapy. It's really healthy. I'm a huge advocate of talking to anybody to get some perspective. And it helps you grow, helps you get better.
Yeah, and if you're thinking about starting therapy, give BetterHelp a try. It's entirely online, designed to be convenient, flexible, and suited to your schedule. And for me, that's the most important, your schedule, because we all have a hectic life. Mm-hmm. So just fill out a brief questionnaire to get matched with the licensed therapist and switch therapists at any time for no additional charge. If you don't like them, switch them. Try someone new.
It's very convenient. It's very healthy. Give it a try. It could be for you. Get it off your chest with BetterHelp. Visit BetterHelp.com/BigShotBob today, and you'll get 10% off of your first month. That's BetterHelp, HELP.com/BigShotBob. So it's funny, you brought up Malik Monk on the Tuesday show, and I had him down actually to talk about on the shoot around here this week. Trevor Ariza, Malik Monk was doing like a little video for something. I don't know what it was for, but Trevor Ariza bought him a $35,000 AP watch while they were teammates in LA. and he was showing it off, and I'm like, damn, a $35,000 watch. There was a rumor for a long time that Shaq bought Rolexes for a bunch of guys, which, yeah, I'm getting the stink face out of you, which means either you didn't get one or that was just some bullshit that was spread around.
It's white elephant. Every time we had the white elephant around Christmas time, motherfuckers like, please let Shaq get my name. Let Shaq get my name. Because Shaq just went out and said, fuck it, I'm just buying a Rolex.
And whoever gets it, gets it?
Yeah. Yeah. So, no, that's a teammate. The nicest gift.
Well, I was going to say, the question was, what's the nicest or coolest gift you... It doesn't have to be nicest, but coolest gift you ever got from a teammate. Or vice versa. What's the coolest gift you gave to a
gave me a nice bottle of vodka.
Okay.
And that shit was strong. But that was not it, man. You know, Tim Duncan all gave us the little PSP, so we all play poker.
Oh, those were
on
fun.
the plane together.
I missed those. Wow. Those were cool.
Yeah, but no teammates has ever really given me a gift.
That sounds like a very Tim Duncan-ish gift.
Video games.
Yeah, because a couple of us used to do on the plane in San Antonio, we would all take money on the plane, like $500, put it in a pot, give it to Bruce Bowen, because Bruce didn't play poker. And then we all would link up and play poker together. So in the winter, actually got the money at the end. So
did you ever win it?
Hell yeah.
Hell yeah, I won it.
I'm a hell of a poker player, man.
I did not know that. Are you really?
Yeah.
So will you go to casino and sit at the table and play and stuff? Or
I can't do that. I don't have the patience for that.
Because that's intimidating as shit to me, man.
Yeah.
I can't. I like to play blackjack, but it's hard for me to sit at a casino table and play blackjack.
My favorite casino game is Texas Hold'em, but not when you play with other players. It's against the house. Yeah.
Okay.
So.
Cool. I didn't know that.
I've just now taken up. Well, I don't want to say taking up because I haven't done it really with real money yet. Blackjack.
Blackjack's fun. There's a lot of strategy in blackjack. That's kind of fun, and I enjoy it. But I can't sit at a table and play it with guys that are throwing hundreds around. I'm like, no, I'm good.
You got to make sure you're at the right table with the right person. Because you with the person, everybody always blames the person at the end. Like, oh, you took his card. Well, why didn't you took my card? The person before me. So I like playing blackjack pretty much with like people I know. I don't want to play with a bunch of strangers.
Yeah,
it's fun to play online. That's about as far as I've gotten there. Question from
I've actually the first time I went to Vegas, I was playing blackjack. I won $40K.
Damn.
Blackjack. Yeah.
All right.
And it was weird because I was playing two hands, and I was sitting there with a bunch of people. They got me. I was playing two hands. They allowed me to play two hands, and I didn't know this at the time, but one of the guys came back and was watching me play because they thought I was counting cards. But he found out I wasn't counting cards because I kept talking to my boys, not paying attention, and then turn around, hit. And I was doubling down on hard 13s and fucking winning. I was like, I got up to 50 grand.
Blackjack is it's the most, I guess it's considered the most popular game in casinos, right? I guess it would be blackjack.
Yeah. Is it really?
Baccarat. Yeah, Baccarat is that one that.
Blackjack and poker are the ones that everyone wants to go play. Yeah. I don't know if they're the most popular, but they're the sexiest. Yeah. Because everyone thinks they're the fucking in the World Series of poker. Everyone wants to go to the high.
Everybody thinks their number's gonna come up on roulette.
Yeah. Oh god. That's
my number's about to hit.
That ain't it. That never hits. Question from Kevin. Master P said that if the New Orleans Pelicans hired him, he'd turn them into a championship contender. I know he's a great ball player, but do you think an NBA team would really take a chance on a guy like him?
No, because he doesn't have the experience.
This goes back to the experience conversation.
Yeah, it goes back to the experience. And, New Orleans has a good team. They just can't stay healthy. You think about it. Zion was right there. He got injured.
Hurt would have counted. Yeah.
Yeah. I think if, they could bring him into the front office and, do something for him because a hometown hero. But.
Okay.
They may end up trading Brandon Ingram.
Oh, no. I've seen that everywhere.
Yeah, they're going to end up.
Yeah, I've seen that. That's almost. It was a lot of people are calling it. It's almost inevitable that they're going to move on.
Why?
Don't know.
Because you got to make too much money?
I guess. Contract, fit. I have no idea. But he was probably one of their best pieces. So I'm not 100% sure why they're so sold on moving on from him. The side question here was, Rob, if you could take the reins of any NBA team right now, which one do you want? If you could take your first coaching job and you get to pick the team.
The one in his backyard.
Well.
Yeah. But, The thing is, the job all depends on if they're gonna do what I say. You know what I mean?
Okay.
And if they could do what I say, I would definitely take the Lakers. And they gotta do what I say. If they run the schemes I want, the Lakers. Because you think about it, you got, AD, hell of a defender. You got Rui, who I can turn into a better defender. And you got, AR, it's like I would get him off the ball more. And D'Lo, I would, listen, this is how we're going to roll. If you knocking down threes, you staying. But if you don't, I don't want no fucking crazy ass heat checks. Get it within the system. Yeah. And if you don't, you know where you're going to be? Next to me. And you ain't going to be fucking eating. And you're going to be in every fucking huddle. So, yeah. And then I get Vando back. I'm like, Vando, you going to be my wolf guy. A wolf guy is where, hey, I'm going to trust you. Anytime you see someone turn their head, you go trap. And we going to fucking play fast. We ain't going to shoot a lot of threes. We can just play fast and try to get to the rack and put the pressure on the refs to call fouls. So I ain't shooting no fucking bad shots. If you shoot a three, 5 feet behind the three, you're going to have a problem with me. So, yeah.
Well.
Can I just send that to Jeannie? Because that feels like a resume. You know what I mean? That's like, damn.
You can send that to Jeannie.
I'll send that to Jeannie and be like, here's what Rob wants to do with your team. Give him a shot.
No fucking logo threes. I don't care if you LeBron, AD do. You shoot a fucking logo three, we better be up 33. I ain't having that shit. If you're gonna shoot one behind 50, like if you look at the way Minnesota when they shoot threes, how many times do you see a guy shoot the three 8 feet behind the fucking 3-point line? You look at Denver, how many guys you see shoot at 8 foot? Even the Celtics, the good teams, you don't see many shots. Even fucking Steph don't shoot shots like that sometimes. And you get guys now, I got range. And they shooting shots like 8 feet behind them. Fuck that. No, we already shooting bad shots. No. So that wouldn't happen with me.
Not that you care, because I know you don't care. But, to kind of piggyback off the conversation we had, earlier this week about coaching and lack of experience and things of that nature. Mm-hmm. Let's say your name was thrown into the hat and it came out in the media that the Lakers were looking possibly at you to be their next head coach. How do you think you would be perceived in the general public? Like all these other names that are out here, how do you think people would take your name being in that fold?
That would be a good question because they only know me from, doing Spectrum now. And so a lot of people, I get a lot of fans that come up to me and be like, yo, man, I totally agree with you. Why don't they do this, this, and this? So I don't know. I think they'd be like, oh, he's inexperienced, and they're going to say, who's his staff going to be? Because that's key, man. People don't understand. You got to have a good staff. Because, like I said before, I never talk to the head coaches. I always talk to people on the staff, be like, yo, man, Phil's fucking up. Yo, Pop's fucking up. This is what you fucking need to do. This is how you need to fucking play me. And then they go tell the coach. That way, because sometimes in the heat of moment, some things can come off wrong to the head coach. And depending on who the head coach is, you could be in this fucking doghouse the rest of your career or get traded. So at least when you tell a head coach, he's kind of a buffer to tell, hey, Rob doesn't feel like you're playing him right. Rob needs a couple plays ran from, and so on and so on. So for me, you got to get a hell of a coaching staff, man. That would be my first objective. And I'm not going, and for me, I'm not big on teams hiring your assistant coaches for you. I'm not, unless they're one of the ones I'm thinking about. But for the most part, I want my coaching staff. And I don't want a bunch of fucking yes men. We might sit at that table and say, fuck you, fuck you, fuck you. And at the end of the day, we hug and walk out because a lot of coaches are afraid to disagree with the head coach. And I want coaches to say, nah, Rob, we don't think that's going to work. I'm like, okay, well, tell me why. And, you can't have a bunch of yes men on your staff.
Yeah. All right. I
just
always wanted to know.
It's a great question, though, because I feel like you're, and we talked about this at lunch the other day, I feel like you're well-liked amongst most of the league and as far as the media goes and stuff. I think the only thing that would be called into question would be experience.
Yeah.
I feel like that was it. It would probably never be a character thing, unless there's a bunch of shit we don't know about. There's you never know. You never
like
know.
The president, you never run with the president because you got skeletons.
This is true.
And you can't see the closet over here. There's a bunch of the motherfuckers in there. I'm just kidding.
All right, question from Charlie. Rob, we just talked about this. I know you're a nice guy. Have you ever gotten anyone fired, even by accident? Dana White did this week. And I was like, what the hell's he talking about?
How?
I went and looked up the story. Dana White was in New York City, and he was driving somewhere, and he took video of a FedEx driver just throwing packages into the truck. And not even, like, really looking. Just like, and the truck's a good 10 feet away. Just hucking boxes.
Wow.
Off this pallet into the truck. Just hucking them. And Dana White's like, takes a video, looks over at the dude, looks back. He's like, he thinks he's Steph Curry. And he is just throwing boxes into his truck. Well, the video went viral, and FedEx fired the guy.
Wow.
So have you ever gotten anyone fired?
Not that I know of.
Never complained to a waiter or anything like that? Then
here's a funny story. So my trainer took me, and this is years ago, my first wife, and me and him and his wife went out to dinner. And he said, I'm paying. I'm like, okay. Our waiter was fucking awful. We had to ask the waiter from the next table to get us water. Our food came out. Mine was cold, and our wives didn't get their food. So James was paying, but he paid. We walked out, and the waiter comes up and says, "Thank you, Robert Horry," and walks back in. I'm like, "You're welcome." I had no clue. James left him a 2-cent tip because he wasn't there, but he gave the tip to the girl that was actually helping us.
Sure.
Because he never helped us. And he was like, I was like, what the fuck? He's like, yeah, I got him. I was like, what? And then the manager comes out, and I told the manager, I was like, yo, he never served us. It was this young lady who helped us out the whole time. I went back in there later. I never saw him again, but I think he got fired. But he was just awful, man.
He badmouths the shit out of you to this day.
Yeah, I'm walking out with a toothpick like, dude.
Robert Horry's a piece of shit. To this day, man. Telling you. All right, last thing, and I had to mention it, was Pat Bev got 4 games for the ball toss. The incident we discussed last week where he threw it in, he's going to start the season with a 4 games.
He got off easy.
He got off really easy. That's like a 10-game suspension right there.
Every bit of it. Rob, what was the biggest suspension or fine you caught during your playing days?
The quote-unquote shove with Steve Nash. I got a 2-game suspension, cost me $60,000.
God bless.
Yeah.
Was that just game check?
And I told, my playoff check. And I told the guy who fined me, I said, I'm going to be watching every fucking game. If you don't fucking throw guys out of a game or suspend guys for a game for the shit I did, we're going to I'm going to sue the fucking league. I was fucking with it. And here's the funny part. The guy who actually suspended me, his wife and my ex-wife were like, I was still married at the time, so they're like really good friends. So he called a house one time. I said, man, what the fuck you calling my house? And hung up on it.
All right.
Yeah.
Well, that's a story.
He told me $60,000, man. I'm like, shit. I could have seen it one game. Like, it's like that body check. I'm like, really, dude? You gave me 2 games for that bullshit?
Yeah.
So I said, but it was the golden boy, Steve Nash. So I said, anybody else other than Steve Nash, I wouldn't have got 2 games.
60 large for that.
Yeah.
I don't know. For me, it was worth it. Just to watch Steve Nash's lifeless body hit the freaking boards like that, man. Tell you what.
Hey, that changed the. Was that the one where it changed the trajectory of the series?
Yeah, because who got suspended? Somebody got suspended for game 5. Mark Stoudemire.
Yeah.
He came after you. That's right.
And what's his name? Diop, whatever his name was.
I don't remember.
The guy from France.
Boris Diop.
Boris Diop. And the funny part is, like, people would actually say, they used to say Robert Horry knew exactly what he was doing because he knew the other team would come off the bench and be suspended for that. I said, I ain't that goddamn smart now.
Come on now. Give me a little too much credit.
No dumbass, but I ain't that smart to know what people going to do.
A little too much credit. I was just mad.
I was just mad this motherfucker was getting all the calls. We couldn't get none. I'm like, okay, I'm going to call this motherfucker right here. Now that's a foul. That's a foul.